Sky Ruin. He's going to test my card knowledge here.
Yep.
I know you got to have 7 planes for that thing. And you get to return stuff. Verdant Catacombs is where Mize is going to start.
It's part of the Valakut cycle.
Do you know the full cycle?
No.
Wow, just going to quit right there? Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. I know there's the, in the set, blue has the Time Vault land.
That's correct.
White has Emeria. Valakut. Green.
This one's easy-ish.
Yeah, I can't remember the other two.
Oran Reef.
Okay, yep.
The Vastwood. We're missing one color. It's black. It's the Crypt.
Okay.
It's like Crypt of Abigash or something like that. It's not particularly good. Why do I know those? I have no idea. I play too much Magic. Just play too much Magic. Logan's off to a pretty decent start here. He's got a Noble Hierarch. A little Gavany Township action. Now he's got a Kitchen Finks, he'll gain 2 life.
And that's part of the charm of the Abzan deck is, you know, you can get these combo kills with Viscera Seer and Malira and so forth. Or you can just win regular games with a board flooded with creatures backed by Gavany Township.
There's a Hallowed Fountain on the battlefield tapped, and we'll go back Logan Mize's way. Now, we've seen Michael on the Open Series some with some modest success. Logan, probably the more named player of the two. You do wonder if Logan knows what he's up against here.
I would not be able to guess most of the cards in Michael's deck.
Based off of this start, I would not really be able to guess, because this is not a stock Modern deck.
I mean, after playing a Lone Missionary, if Michael played a Court Hussar, I would probably guess there was Sun Titan somewhere in the list. But the rest of this deck I would not be able, because there's a bunch of other weird stuff going on here. 2 Aether Spellbombs, 2 Mortapods. Aether Spellbomb also sweet alongside Sun Titan.
True. Take that, twin deck.
Good against Goryo's Vengeance as well.
Also true. Here's Malaria. There's another Township. Pass turn back. Take a draw. Another Mira. Hallowed Fountain's going to battlefield untapped real fast. What do we got here? Aha, Supreme Verdict's going to kill some stuff. Okay. Kitchen Finks is going to persist. 2 life will be gained. Let me go back Mize's way.
Michael might as well have thrown an attack in there before casting the Supreme Verdict.
Test him.
No,
it's a freebie.
It's 2 points, or you get the Kitchen Finks, which is actually pretty awesome if Logan decides to block that way.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, most likely, but.
Oh, and 3rd Township. That's awkward.
Not as good as the first one. Colored mana does become an issue for this deck.
A little bit. I mean, Township is fantastic in this deck.
Right. No 2 ways about it. Awesome. But.
Now, what's weird about Valakut and Emeria and those lands is they feel like they're legendary.
They're not.
But they're not, so you can just play multiple copies.
Especially Emeria and Valakut, and I think the other ones, they have singular names.
Yes.
The Sky Ruin.
Correct.
Implies there's only one.
Well, now there are 2 on the battlefield. So take that. Lone Missionary number 2.
Classic offense defense strategy.
Yeah, you know how it works. Both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Lone Missionary is going to gain 4 life. It's a core monk. It's from Zendikar. We're headed back that way. Maybe a little reprint on the way?
Sure.
Huh?
Can reprint this thing.
Zendikar is actually one of my favorite times in Magic, so I'm really excited to go back.
Same.
See what Mize has got next year. He's gotten off to a very slow start.
It would be a little odd to reprint this card while a Ration Cleric is still legal in Standard.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, who cares?
Obviously. It's just... Odd to have both floating around.
Gotta check those red decks, man. Here comes Kitchen Finks. Don't want to block there because of the activation of Gaffney Township. Will remove the persist counter.
Well, Michael might be fine with that being Logan's entire turn.
Looks like that might be Logan's entire turn. He is tapping 5 mana. Michael maybe thinking Path to Exile. All right. The Birds of Paradise will still get a Gaffney Township counter. And Logan will search his deck for a basic land from the path.
But this is a really tough way to try to manage the board from Michael's side of the table. You know, he has these lone missionaries. They do very, very little in this kind of matchup. And Logan's deck has all sorts of things to do with spare mana, especially because he has all these Gaffney Townships in play. And that Kitchen Finks is not really a critical component of anything. Logan is probably thrilled with that path.
Now there's a Temple Garden. That's going to the battlefield untapped, so Logan will take 2. Follow up, another Birds, pass the turn back. Every creature's a good draw here for Logan, because he has those Townships to make him into real creatures. For Michael, he's looking to get to Sun Titan land. Oh, a little flourish on that Lone Missionary attack. Got 4 planes on the battlefield for Emiria. Got a long way to go for that. Then you can loop those Lone Missionaries.
Yep, really potent.
It's a little slow.
Logan better look out.
Logan does have a copy of Court of Calling in hand. A lot of different ways he can go with that in this matchup. A couple of 1-ofs in the main deck like Asali Pride Mage, Murderous Redcap, and Fiend Hunter. He can also work towards just assembling the infinite life combo or infinite damage combo. There's Kitchen Finks. That's going to be hit by an Ojutai's command.
Bang.
That'll counter and draw a card.
Got to cryptic command, did not have access to double blue at the time. Or triple blue, rather, at the time.
Aha! It's tough to have triple blue in your Emiria deck. Am I right? It's not impossible.
He has 3 Hallowed Fountains in play. I mean, he could have done it if he wanted to. Saved himself 2 points.
Looks like another Hallowed Fountain may have been the draw. Viscera Seer is the follow-up. Here comes the Missionary. Oh, he's getting whittled down here. Another Hallowed Fountain. That's 5 planes now.
The problem is he doesn't just need the planes. He needs something that matters to get back.
Yeah.
The 7 planes is only step 1.
No argument here.
Otherwise, he's just going to lose to Birds of Paradise and Gaffney Townships.
Be a rough way to go.
Yeah.
Mize with not a lot going on here. Weird game 1.
When you're in a spot like this where you don't exactly know what's going on with Michael's deck, and clearly there's been some confusing cards played thus far,
To say the least.
there's something to be said for just like, I'm just going to keep doing Gaffney Township stuff until Michael makes me stop. I don't know what kind of counters this guy has. I don't know what kind of tricks, but I can force his hand with Gaffney Township.
I'm sure Logan didn't see the Ojutai's command coming, that's for sure. And it is tough to figure out what the payoff would be in this sort of strategy. We have the luxury of seeing the deck list, but I would not have guessed Sun Titan, that's for sure. Gifts Ungiven.
Got one of those in the deck.
All right. Now, typically when we see Gifts Ungiven in Modern, it's for Elish Norn and Unburial Rights. I don't think we're going to find that here.
Yeah, I mean, the setup where Michael gets to establish something really powerful and fancy with the gifts is when he has Emiria online. Then he can go get Sun Titan plus 3 value creatures and go pretty crazy.
Now, this should be interesting to see what he does search up in this situation. I guess I'm giving one of my favorite Magic cards of all time. It's actually, to me, a real shame this card doesn't see more play in Modern. It's very, very powerful.
It annoys me more that when it does show up, it's frequently gifting for 2 cards, which doesn't feel in the spirit of the card here.
Instead of 4, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going for 4 this time, though. I don't know what 4.
Well, this seems, if I was in Michael's spot, I would probably be going for something like Wall of Omen, Sun Titan, Court Hussar, Pilgrim's Eye. Just set up Sun Titan plus good stuff to be recurring. We shall find out in a moment.
Yeah. You just dropped Pilgrim's Eye in there like it was nothing.
Well, there's nothing else for him to really get except a Lone Missionary.
There's the Court Hussar. A Detention Sphere.
Detention Sphere, okay.
Yeah.
That's a solid one to get here. Same deal, just Sun Titan and 3 good things to loop with Sun Titan.
Yep.
Detention Sphere probably better than Pilgrim's Eye in this spot.
Maybe a
Who
little.
am I to say?
Yeah, maybe a little. That is really selling Pilgrim's Eye short, though.
Yeah. It's got 2 birds. I mean, you can't give up on the Detention Sphere here.
Sun Titan and Detention Sphere are going to go to the graveyard. Court Hussar and Wall of Omens will go to the grip. There is Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Picked up a Plains. It's Plains number 6.
Getting close.
It's the inevitability. Here's a collected company. Will this resolve? It appears it will. Top 6. 2 creatures will join. Looks like Mize found at least 1 Kitchen Finks. And there are some other options here for Logan. Viscera Seer is the other one. The rest will go to the bottom. And he does have enough creatures that he can actually Court of Calling now, too, if he'd like. But I think he's going to patiently wait.
And the issue is, is Logan certain that Infinite Life is even good against Michael?
Against a blue-white control deck, you wouldn't think it would be. But looking at Michael's deck, I actually think it is good.
Yeah, Michael, I do not believe can beat Infinite Life. But if you're in Logan's spot, that's a hard call to make.
The thing is, Logan doesn't have to make a move right now at Court of Calling. He can, but he doesn't have to.
But you can try to set up Murderous Red Cap.
Yep.
And just see if Michael has it. I think Logan does have an incentive to move here because it feels like this is only going to get worse. Michael's been very, very slow thus far, but things are starting to happen.
So here's Court of Calling. That's going to resolve. It'll be for 3. And it looks like Logan might be going to Value Town, getting an Eternal Witness. Yep. That'll bring a trigger.
And I really like this play from Logan a lot because you don't know if Michael's got a response to your chord. There's some way to break this up. But you'll probably see it in response to a chord because you don't want Logan to go get something good and then have to deal with him having tricks on the table. So going and getting the Eternal Witness is great because if Michael had something to do to stop all of this, he probably would have done it up front. Now you know that he can't, and you can go about your business.
Also, you've built a nice little board here so you can go to Township.
Yep, there's a lot of merit to the way that Logan played this one out.
You think about it, before we walked into this turn, he had 2 Birds of Paradise. Now he's got, and a Viscera here. Now he's got 3 other creatures on the table. Now he got a sizable army that actually matters.
Yep. My coworker, Billy Moreno, refers to making certain plays as trying to clarify the game state, which is what Logan was up to right there. He's going to see a response to the Court of Calling if there is one. And he can just go get Eternal Witness. Now he knows the coast is clear, most likely, and go for a kill, go for Infinite Life, whatever he might be able to set up here.
Windswept Teeth being sacrificed. Logan going to get a green source. Note that this is his third green source in lands. Oh, he's not having any difficulty actually casting Chord of Calling, but now he can actually make the play of, attack with my creatures and then still have triple green available for Chord. I think we might see him cast it now. Looks like it's going to be for 2, maybe. Maybe not. Yep. I'll see if he wants to go for Anafenza or Malira. He'll go for Anafenza. Oh, it's getting a little more interesting now. He's worked himself into what looks to be the infinite bolster combo. But again, does he want to pull the trigger? Does he want to make a move? Or does he just want to wait for his opponent? Because he can just leave this here and just say, hey, this is this thing that I'm doing. Yep. There's Path to Exile and Anafenza. So he tried to make a move. He'll sacrifice Anafenza to Viscerous here to scry 1. That top card's going to go to the bottom. Now Kitchen Sphinx will persist. Logan will gain 2 life. Tried to gain a bunch of life, put a bunch of counters on stuff. Didn't work out. Gets the scry there as well from Viscerous here. Can't forget about that. But a timely Path to Exile there from Michael means that he isn't drawing dead.
Yeah, it had to have it too, as Michael cannot beat an infinite life setup outside of decking Logan.
But he's actually got to get something going.
Well, he's a planes away from then starting to get something going.
Yep. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
He's in no rush. Logan going to come in with just the Bird of Paradise, which has a +1/+1 counter. And after all that, Michael only down to 18. Path to Exile the draw. Here's a Chord Hussar. Things I didn't know I was going to say today.
Yep. An oldie but a goodie.
One of my favorites. Always have loved this card.
It was in your Nats deck you made a deep run with, correct?
Solar Flare, 9th place. Sweet deck. Sweet card. Vidalcan Knight with his Azorius flag. I always love this card. Vigilance, not entirely sure why.
So you could beat down. What do you mean? So offense, defense, but both sides of the ball.
I mean, I used to play Solar Flare like 8 hours a day during college. I don't know if I've ever dealt a point of damage with this thing.
Well, that can't be true. In the mirror match, you had to have attacked.
Maybe. Maybe I worked him down a little bit. Here's a basic plains off of Flooded Strand. We have achieved the goal.
Now it really starts
Oh,
humming.
somebody's taking a look at the old graveyard now, huh? Logan wants to know what's in the bin. There's a Sun Titan down yonder. Lone Missionary, too.
Detention Sphere.
Yeah, you can get that back at the Sun Titan. That's some real fun.
A little less good now that there's some Viscerous Seers in play, but still, there's some value down there.
Michael wants to take a look.
Though I wonder if Michael would have been better served casting the Chord Hussar for blue, blue, blue. Because that seems like the thing that he wants to be getting back with Sun Titan.
Yeah, make it so it goes to the graveyard.
Yep.
Because you didn't pay the white mana, yeah. Path to Exile going to go after Kitchen Finks. Logan going to sacrifice that. He'll get the Scry. That card's going to the bottom too. Now we're going to go Mize's way. Mize, no cards in hand. Playing on the top of his deck. He's going to start by sacrificing Eternal Witness on the upkeep because he wants to influence his draw step. That card's going to go to the bottom. he's going to do it with birds now, too. He's looking for something specific. I don't know what that thing is, maybe Collected Company, but he is digging. Wow. Bird down 2. Bottoms up. He must be really scared of something that's down there.
Or he just can't do very much in the face of those detention spheres.
Yeah?
Like, if his hand's forced anyway, maybe he's better served doing it now.
Well, he's down to 2 Viscera Seers. And you can see not a lot going on with that body language. He just passed the turn back. Michael can't untap fast enough because he's got 2 Myriad triggers. Oh, yeah. Lone Missionary, gain 4, thanks. Fun Titan. Detention Sphere. Target your Viscera Seer, gets to sacrifice 1. Top card going to go to the bottom. The payoff.
Yep, finally.
It was all for this.
Took him long enough, but
Well,
now we got something going.
There's no way to do it fast. And now Lone Missionary into the red zone. I hope that Code Hussar is coming in too. Looks like Logan might be activating a township. Yeah, getting in front of the Court Hussar. What's next for Michael? A Ghost Quarter strategy. Ah, with Fun Titan.
Yeah,
See that?
build himself a deck over there.
Time to go after those townships. Logan got to untap and draw. He's been grinded down.
Yeah. A lot of timely paths, and Logan couldn't really get anything fast going.
In a very strange war of attrition.
Yeah. In some ways, this match, or this game at least, has been more bizarre than the one we saw Ali Antrazi play yesterday.
Yeah, and his deck is geared towards generating the bizarre. Let's see what we have here. Oh, and a Fenza. Not quite on this board. Ojutai's command.
Bang.
The mega rub in.
Wouldn't even let him have that.
Nope. Counter draw a card. Time to untap. This blue-white control needs a little sacrifice engine just to be able to continue to take him to value town. There's another Ghost Quarter. Oh, we can take out all the townships now. Michael might be going after black sources of mana, though. Yeah, that's going to resolve. So, there's a swamp. Yeah, fine, go score that one. What do you think about that? Got any more basics over there? A basic forest. Everybody come in.
And now black mana is cut off.
There's a Sun Titan trigger. It's going to get back Ghost Quarter.
I think Logan actually may be down to just 1 copy of Godless Shrine for black mana.
He'll sacrifice the Windswept Heath. To go get his Godless Shrine. It's kind of the battlefield untapped. Well, he gets to use that once. So, Township activation. That'll turn Viscera Seer into a 3/3. Gets to eat the Lone Missionary, which is coming back.
Yep, that's just free.
Thanks.
That's where I wanted it anyway.
Yep. Viscera Seer standing tall. Logan will draw and concede the game. Michael Segal is going to win game number 1 here over Logan Mize. Not quite sure what I just watched.
Yeah, Logan. The look on Logan's face is very similar to the one on mine. Just not totally sure what happened there, but down a game.
He is down a game. So we're going to go to Logan's sideboard first with 4 Path Exiles, 4 Voice Resurgence, a Tassiger of the Golden Fang, an Avon Mind Sensor, an Orzhov Pontiff, a Burrington Forge Tender, a Scavenging Ooze, a Liliana Keeper of Silence, and an Eidolon of Rhetoric. Did he bring the goods for the blue-white control matchup?
Well, Scavenging Ooze seems pretty solid here as it breaks up a lot of the Sun Titan shenanigans. I can get behind Tassigar as the matchup is pretty slow. I don't know how much Voice of Resurgence stuff that he wants in the matchup because Michael actually played mostly on his main phase, even though he's a blue-white control deck. But I think some mixture of Voice of Resurgence and Path to Exile is reasonable here.
What do we see on Michael's side? Tell me there's some spice in there.
2 Stony Silence, 2 Supreme Verdict, 2 Meddling Mages, 2 Spreading Seas, card I can't identify.
I have to do everything here. Stone Cloaker.
The 3/2 Flash Flyer comes into play.
Yes, you get to exile something from the graveyard.
Yep. Low Missionary, Negate, Celestial Purge, Surgical Extraction, Disenchant, Dispel. I mean, I guess the Stone Cloaker is fine here, right?
Stone Cloaker is probably pretty good in this matchup,
probably
actually.
fine in this matchup. And even though Spreading Seas is not ideal against Birds of Paradise decks, Logan's mana is sensitive enough that I think you can bring in the Seas as well. I think the 2 copies of Supreme Verdict can come in. More sweepers, the better.
Know what you can do with Spreading Seas.
Gavany Township.
And return it with Sun Titan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, buddy.
If it somehow ends up in your graveyard, which is... You get Ghost Quarter and Spreading Seas, and then...
You have figured it out.
You're basically just going off at that point.
The loop has begun.
There's actually several loops that get established in that sequence.
Well, we're going to watch game 2 of this in just a moment, but while we do wait for these players to sideboard and shuffle up, we'll talk about SCG Game Night. In the month of August, you can get Furious George the Monkey, though there's not a lot of time left.
Yeah, a very popular program. Stores can sign up for this program and run it any way that they want, sanctioned, unsanctioned, whatever format. Just get players in your store for some fun and friendly magic. Running out of time for the August kit. If you want to get these pins and foils, September's coming right down the pipeline here with the Kraken. And then it is too late to get signed up for the Kraken, but if you want to get signed up for October, which is the Hippo, head over to starcitygames.com/game night for more information or contact your Star City Games organized play representative.
I believe that the Kraken is going by Bubbles.
Yep,
And
Bubbles is good.
We don't have a name for the Hippo yet, but we can work on that.
Harry.
So George came to mind. I'm not sure why George the Hippo came to mind, I just did.
Okay.
But we already have a George.
Furious
George,
the
yeah,
monkey.
so we can't do that.
Right.
Harry the Hippo plays. I can get behind that.
Or Helen. Helen the Hippo.
Helen, you look like a Helen.
I like alliterative animal names.
I see. I see. Oh, I believe there were some... This is the new rule here. Cards in front of lands in the coverage area, and vice versa. I'm curious what the punishment is for that.
Listen, everyone get on board with this. And some players have had to adapt their game, and they've done so very quickly. Adrian Sullivan. I believe Logan Mize. Was Logan? No, Chris Anderson.
Chris Anderson.
Netherlands in front.
Lands in
the back.
Lands in front of spells, yes.
Lands in the front.
It's never been a problem for me.
No, same.
I think it's complete nonsense that people have ever put lands in front of their spells.
I think that's how they tell you to do it in the alpha rulebook. That's what people quote.
Any definitive proof of that?
Yep. The same rulebook that tells you about all the benefits of playing for ante. That's the legal document people point to as why it's okay to have your lands in front.
And let's get it ready. Logan Mize will be on the play here for game number 2. So he just lost to a weird combination of cards in game number 1. He's going to keep his opening hand. Michael, we're going to send it back. I shouldn't even notice that Michael was playing lands in front, spells in back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to even think. I didn't even...
His board,
remember.
His board just kind of felt generally cluttered.
Yeah, everything was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was just rocking and rolling with his lone missionaries and everything else. This is a weird deck.
Yeah.
Pilgrim's Eye, Court Hussar,
2 Mortapods, 2 Aether Spellbombs,
Mortapod. That's the engine.
2 Negate, a Dispel, 2 Detention Sphere. I mean, the numbers are 1 gifts. It's a bizarre. Not only are the cards bizarre, but the numbers are as well.
This deck needs a Rift Wing Cloudskate.
Yep.
Just one. That'll get you out of some jams.
But you can't get it back with Sun Titan.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm off that idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm still kind of on it. Like, I like that card. Logan gonna start with the Godless Shrine, Windswept Heath. No plays early. Michael with Myria. There's a Flooded Strand. There's Wall of Omens. A little cantripping. We'll just get a basic Plains. Let's see no Hallowed Fountain here. So a new card coming here in just a second for Michael. We'll pass the turn back over to Mize. Mize will sacrifice that Windswept Heath. Go down to at least 19, potentially more. He does have a copy of Voice of Resurgence in hand. He'll deploy that. Not sure if Logan has his third land or not, though. And he does not.
Yeah, normally when someone hesitates on their fetch land sack in Modern, it's because they're trying to draw another land. They don't want to thin their deck out. I was interested to see if Logan was going to bring in Voice. I suppose it's the worst case scenario, so that it's still fine, but Michael's deck does appear to play a lot on his own turn. It's not a typical blue-white control deck where Voice of Resurgence is very powerful.
You know, Ochai's command worked its way into things in the first game, but that's really about it.
Definitely some instances in Path to Exile and so on, but Michael's deck is better against Voice of Resurgence than blue-white control decks typically are going to be.
Logan, all he can do is pass. Now the mana trouble's here for Mize. Segal will draw a card. Wall of Omens. Going cantripping. You want to have some real fun. You bounce the wall, you play it again.
Probably easier just to cycle the spell bomb.
Yeah, see, I figured you'd say that. Like I said, if you want to have some real fun. He's just going to pass the turn back. Path to Exile targeting the Voice of Resurgence. Hey, the spell was going to bounce it in response. So Path to Exile will get countered.
Pretty good spot there for the spell bomb.
Yeah.
By that hesitation and how weird that play looks, I'm not sure if Logan was 100% on top of that outcome.
Yeah. There's a Voice, pass the turn back.
It's a really rough exchange.
It is. It is. Aha, off the top of Cordusar. Michael missing a land last turn, but it looks like he has found one this turn. Plains number 3, 4 away. Segal will pass the turn back over to Mize. Mize looking for land number 3. Looks like he may have just found it in Inverted Catacombs. So he'll sacrifice that. Down to at least 16, potentially more. And we'll see what Mize wants to play. Looks like he's going with Eternal Witness. So we'll have a green source on the way. And Logan is just going to get a land back because he was having some real mana issues. So Eternal Witness will do a nice job of fixing that.
Mm-hmm. And Michael right now is sitting on a bunch of sweepers. And if Logan's hand is just a kind of a curve of regular creatures, this is fine for Michael. But if there's a lot of value going on in Logan's hand, these sweepers don't actually help all that much. Logan can grind this game down.
Michael going to go with the Cordusar. He's still playing the match right now, so we don't need to cut it off.
Oh, he fixed it. Never mind. All right.
Michael's found his card from the Cordusar. Now, there's a Flooded Strand. The Court Hussar's feeling a little frisky. I like it. You know, you got to check him.
Right, test the waters.
You got to check him. You know, Michael could have Defiant Strike. Anything's possible.
Right.
He's going to search up a hollowed fountain here.
Ooh, I think it's a Mortipod.
No. Yes. So you got to check him.
Yeah.
Sacrifice the living weapon. Kill your voice. Get an elemental token. Sure. What else is going to happen?
It's a very odd looking game right now because both players are kind of floundering a little bit trying to make their land drops. And it's not even clear that making their land drops unlocks anything particularly powerful. We could be settling in for a very, very long game.
I have no idea what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I believe it's a game of Magic, but it's unclear. There's a Kitchen Finks. Trigger. Logan will gain 2. Logan does have 2 copies of Quarter Calling and a Gavany Township hand, so you can see he's working towards something. Feels as though he's trying to work towards the infinite combo. Michael going to equip. You gonna throw that thing? Maybe take down Eternal Witness?
Take down the Witness. He can then path the Finks. He can then move the Mortipod onto something, shoot down the Elemental if he's feeling so inclined.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's a lot of resources to invest, but he can knock out Logan's board pretty easily this turn if that's something he wants to do.
Brian Anderson and Modern.
There might be some interest in that.
Your event is moving.
There's another Miria.
To round 2. Make your way to the side events area. Brian
Oh, yeah.
Anderson.
Here come the Hussars. 2 damage dealt. You want to talk about offense, defense.
Yeah.
Logan going to sacrifice Verdant Catacombs. I'm looking for a Court Hussar reprint.
And Mortipod, pretty nice with the Emiria. I mean, he gets that set up. So, again, these are all the slowest of burns. But it does put pressure on Logan to kind of act first here.
Yeah?
But Michael's late game is going to be better. He's a blue-white control deck. He's got some blue and white, card draws and removal spells. And Emiria gives him a pretty impressive top end, even if he's just looping back creatures that cantrip. And he can do better than that.
Township. That's land number 5 for Mize. Mize he just can't break through.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Kitchen Finks, it's going to hold back.
Yeah, and Logan just feels, there's not a lot of value to getting involved in combat here because Michael can simply double block either of his creatures with Court Hussar, and then that forces Logan to use the Township, and then if Michael has some other trick or some other big play to get to, he can't even really initiate any offense on this board.
It all just kind of goes bad.
Yeah.
This is all kind of unfamiliar territory for Logan.
Yeah, no kidding.
With that, I will welcome you all to round 2.
Looks like it's going to be an attempt at Court of Calling. I think we're going to get a negate here from Michael. Yeah, I'm not letting that resolve either. So now Path to Exile is going to resolve. Logan gets to search up a land. But his attack force is being whittled away.
And Michael's sitting on at least 1 copy of Supreme Verdict. I think looks like 2 in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He can then this turn finish off the elemental token, and it forces Logan to redevelop a board. And then the sweepers in Michael's hand become very, very powerful.
Going to equip Wall of Omens very quickly, take down the elemental token. Equip a Horsey beatdowns.
Michael's still a little bit away from Emiria being a concern. I think he's on 5 planes right now.
4 planes,
4
2
planes,
Emirias.
yeah. So he's got a ways to go.
But it's the inevitability.
Yes.
There's Kitchen Finks. Logan looking to rebuild. He'll start here. Trigger, gain 2 life. He's up to 15. And just pass the turn back. What's next here? Oh, an island, not a great draw.
Not what the doctor ordered.
Not a great draw.
Planes is fine, gets you towards Emiria. Spells are good because they're spells. Island,
Not so much.
not great.
No. There's an island. And pass it back. I've seen some grindy games in my day.
I feel like Logan's going to have to go infinite to win this game. He's not going to be able to do it just by building up a board and using Gavany Township.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult enough for that to happen just with what's going on the board, and Michael's hand has a bunch of sweepers in it.
He just picked up another copy of Supreme Verdict. Court Hussar beatdowns. They may be stopped. Mize is going to sacrifice Verdant Catacombs, go down to 14. See what land he wants to search up. It's a Temple Garden. Oh, here's a Court of Calling. Looks like it's going to be for 3. See if this resolves. Last one got negated.
Yep. And this
one's
one,
good.
this might be another court for witness because nothing's going on right now.
Just a little value chord.
Yeah, just it's basically free.
Yeah, there's Witness. Looks like he's going to go get a little something else. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Same setup here.
Yeah.
You know, just the game's being played at a very slow pace. Just try to grind out some value with witnesses and chords.
Interesting. Double block. Uh-oh, Path to Exile. All right, there goes Finks. Logan checking to see if he has lands to search up. Should have a basic swamp left. 2 forests, 1 plains, 1 swamp in the deck. There it is. Out of basics now. Eternal Witness loses. But he can play Eternal Witness, get back Witness, and rebuild a little bit.
Yeah.
But we are in the grindiest of affairs here. My goodness. Michael just going to pass the turn back. This is how he wants his games to go. Until he gets a Sun Titan or 7 planes.
It's a little surprising to me that Michael couldn't find room for 1 copy of Sphinx's Revelation somewhere in the 75.
Oh, I like what you're talking about.
He's just very good at uglying up the game and slowing it down. And then Revelation, as we know from Standard and last season, is a backbreaker in those spots.
There's Kitchen Finks. Trigger gain 2. Mize will pass. Michael will draw another copy of Mortarpod. If one's good, second one's better.
Not actually true.
Yep, that's yep.
The Invitational many moons ago played 4 copies in the deck.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's at least 3 too many.
Yeah, 4.
Now, in Michael's defense, his deck does have a need for sacrifice outlets because he's playing with Sun Titan. So, and his deck's not very naturally good at getting things in the graveyard because it's blue and white. It doesn't have sacrifice for value effects. But
You know what you can return with Sun Titan?
it's Mortarpod.
Mortarpod. Oh yeah,
If your Mortarpod ends up in the graveyard somehow.
could happen.
Anything is possible, I suppose, but it's rare for that card to die.
Here comes the Sphinx. Might be looking at ourselves a 101 tap out victory.
Yeah.
We're not getting a third game. I'll tell you that much.
I suppose Logan's deck is capable of killing very fast in certain spots. Your curve
Yeah.
of just the combo draw can win fast, but if the first 2 games are any indication, this is either ending up, 101, 1-1, or 2-0.
If they're any indication, which I believe they are. Flooded Strand was the draw for Michael. Court Hussars feeling it. Kitchen Finks will take down 1 Hussar. And finish it off. It'll get a counter. Now shoot there.
I mean, this is
There's a township activation.
yeah. I mean, this is playing right into the township.
I don't love that. Basic planes.
I mean, I think Michael was trying to set up a turn here of something involving Supreme Verdict,
That's what it
but
feels like. He's going to play 2 of them.
Ah, okay. How would you describe this game? Choppy, uneven. I mean,
I would go with hard to watch.
bizarre.
Yeah, that's what I would go with.
Bizarre.
Eternal Witness strategy. Let's get it going. Get back a quarter calling.
Commander 1, your pod is ready to fire. Please
Yeah.
the registration area to meet your judge.
Voice of Resurgence. Pass the turn back. With the township activation at the ready. Typically, these grindy games favor Obzon.
Well, it's hard to wear this deck down just with sweepers because of Kitchen Fink's Voice of Resurgence, Eternal Witness, and so forth. When we saw Michael win, it was because he had the board mostly contained and then started doing powerful, proactive stuff of his own to push Logan out of the game. But if you're trying to contain it with spot removal and sweepers and no real pressure, it's tough to do. Especially if your removal isn't exiling. I mean, if you're playing with Anger of the Gods, it's a different story, but with Supreme Verdict, Wrath of God, and so forth, Logan's creatures have a lot of natural endurance against sweepers like that.
What do we have here? Another verdict.
And this is a perfect example. I mean, he gets a token left over, he still has the township, the witness is in the graveyard, he can reestablish a loop if he's feeling so inclined.
Yeah, until Michael actually gets to Sun Titan or 7th Plains.
Right.
This is okay for Logan. Here's Cord. That's getting dispelled. Mize will draw. I think he may have picked up another copy of Cord. Yep.
I mean, Michael's approach to the matchup appears to be, I'm going to go ahead and use Dispel and Negate to keep you off of Collected Company and Court of Calling, and then my base of blockers and sweepers are going to contain your creatures. I'm not sure the second thing is true.
Yeah, Scouting News is actually going to make things pretty difficult now, too.
Yeah, Ooze is great in the sideboard here. I mean, the Emiria plan is now off the table.
Sun Titan's kind of off the
Gifts
table.
on Giving gets a lot worse if Michael happens to draw it.
Well, there's Supreme Verdict. Logan wants to remove some cards from the graveyard. Michael did load up on these verdicts, so kind of paying off right now.
Yeah, 2 in the main, 2 more on the board.
Yep.
And certainly seems like the full 4 is in effect here.
Might as well remove some cards. And now we got a Wall of Omens. Trigger, draw a card. Plains number 6. Equip Mortar Pot, pass the turn back. Logan, a lot of mana here. Let's see what this is. Looks like Cord. Checking to see if he has a Revelark here this weekend. It does not appear to be the case.
Yeah, the big question is, does he have any way to get that ooze out of the graveyard and back into play?
Yeah, there's a Viscera here.
He's only got 1 ooze.
Magic players, we are now taking signups for today's two-headed
Can Michael
giant
find
challenge.
Plains number 7?
If you and a friend want to play two-headed giant, please make your way up to customer service and decide its registration.
Sort of. Gifts Ungiven off the top of the deck. I have no idea what he'll search for.
I mean, he can search Plains, Flooded Strand, Hollowed Fountain if he wants. That locks up the Emiria if that's his priority right now.
And I could see like Sun Titan, a Pilgrim's Eye, and 2 other cards. Path Exile's going after the Wall of Omens. Michael's going to try to Mortar Pod the Viscera Seer, but Mize will activate Gavany Township, or perhaps Court of Calling. He'll Court of Calling.
Yeah. So Witness is his path to get the ooze out of the graveyard.
Oh, look at this. Even Mind Sense.
Oh.
Well, search your library for 4 cards. You get to look at the top 4. I wonder how this works with gifts. I guess you just get the 4 cards. Because you get to search the top 4, so I guess your gifts is just those 4 cards.
And Matthew Smith, your two-headed or your commander event is
Yeah, all right.
Yuval Reagan.
And I imagine he's just going to get Ghost Quarter Island here. I mean, maybe he actually can't give the Ghost Quarter because then Amira is...
Yeah, he just gave him the Plains. He gave him Plains Island and put the Oshai's Command and the Ghost Court in the graveyard.
I mean, Logan may be close here to simply being able to fly over the top with Gavany Township and kill him before the Emirias do much damage.
I mean, that's what he's got to do now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he would have liked to get back the ooze and, you know, he could have courted for Witness back the ooze nukes the graveyard. But Gifts Ungiven has kind of forced his hand here. Didn't have time for it.
Yeah, Logan with 4 copies of Eternal Witness this weekend. A lot of those. His last card in hand is Cord. And he's really got to try to get this game over with.
Please confirm time is accurate.
Well, now we're in extra turns. It's turn 0. So Michael will have turns 1, 3, and 5. Logan will have turns 0, 2, and 4.
Legacy players, that is time in the round. Active players turn 0. Please proceed with 5 additional turns.
So Logan's got to try to figure out a way to win this game to get to a draw. And Michael's got to try to stay away from dying. So here comes the Mind Sensor. Looks like Michael's going to go down to 6. And Logan going to pass with Court of Calling at the ready. That's the last card in his hand. Amira's going to trigger. It looks like Wall of Omens will be the target. Logan. He's tapping mana for Cord. Looks like it's going to be a Cord for 4. So he's got something in mind. And we're going to find out soon enough what it is. red cap. Put Michael down to 4. Wall of Omens, draw a card. Wall of Omens, draw a card. Hasn't even taken his draw step for the turn. So, 3 new ones. One of them's Path to Exile. Looks like 2 of them are Path to Exile. And there's an Aether Spellbomb in there too, sure.
I mean, this should give Michael the tools to get a draw out of this.
I think so.
I-
Well, to get a win,
Yeah.
because he's up a game.
Right, yeah, to get a draw out of this game on time.
Sure, sure. There's an Equip. There's an Aether Spellbomb. That's a lot to do in one turn. There's an Island past the turn back. So now it's turn number 2. Fire away with that Wall of Omens. Now it's turn 3 of extra turns, so Michael's going to get to use the Myriads again. Wall is 1, draw a card. Wall 2, draw a card. And now take a draw step for the turn. And this is, there's a Ghost Quest. It's going to be too much for Logan to overcome. Now that he's finally got this online.
Yeah. The Spellbomb is just a ton of insurance here.
Yeah. Turn 4 of extra turns. Yeah, that's going to do it. Michael Segal's going to win this match here over Logan Mize, 1-0. A very unusual deck that Michael is playing, but he's now 9-2 with this brew.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a very impressive run, and Amiria is doing a lot of work. I mean, for a lane that comes into play tapped and is then just sort of a plains for the remainder of the game, the amount of impact it's having is really, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, what it generates is a weird kind of inevitability that once we get into this stage of the game, I can really grind you down. And Obzon Company is a deck that's very difficult to grind down like this. I mean, I've never really seen them be on the receiving end.
Yeah, and that actually felt like had that game